You attract what you believe and not what you think. Starting today, you will start creating your tweet. My name is Priyanka Rao. I am a professional mind coach and now a purpose friend. A very good afternoon to all who have joined me this for the week 3 of our 6-week project. I can see a few familiar names. Welcome back. I'm so glad this is adding value to all of you and you are joining me week on week. It really makes my time here and my energy here that much more worth it. Good to see you, Dr. Jolene, Lester Rodericks, a few other names who I believe have not used their names, so I'm not sure that you've joined us back yet. Great to see you all. So week 3 is going to be a very, very critical week for you. All this week, we've been pouring in to a cup of life to create empowering beliefs. But what about releasing what is already in our cup of life? Which is the anxieties, the fear, the limitations, the limiting thoughts. And today we're really going to be spending time on the release, which is actually my forte. That's what I mainly do as a mind coach, where I help clients across India and across 3 countries release. So I'm very, very excited you joined me today. We are live on Facebook, so a big hello to all the audiences who have logged into Facebook as well. Thank you for joining me again. And saying that, I'm going to begin right away. I can see a few new names that have logged in today, so welcome. For anybody who has joined in for the first time, please send me an email. You would have received my email. I'm going to share it with you a little bit later as well. You'll get the recordings of the earlier sessions, right? So if you have joined me for the very first time, it's very important that you see what we did in week 1 and week 2. It's all a continuation. So I would really urge you to just email me and we'll have it sent across to you by email. All right, so for those who have joined me for the first time, I'm Priyanka Rao. I'm the apple of my parents' eye, roommate to 50-kilo Rottweiler dog, who is right now sleeping under my table, looking for my space under the sun, but found my life's purpose. I'm a nerdy bookworm, turned luxury hotelier, turned internationally certified image consultant, turned e-commerce startup founder 3 years back, and now a professional mind coach in India. So these are my credentials. I am a certified practitioner in belief clearing, in EFT, and in neuro-linguistic programming. And some of those techniques are going to come to you today. I'm also an internationally certified image consultant. I'm an alumni of the London Image Institute. And only in this pandemic, I've clocked in a little over 500 personal one-on-one coaching hours across 17 cities in India and 3 countries. So I really hope what I share with you is going to help you add value. For those who are meeting me for the very first time, as a coach, my job is to make you live without dependency. You should not be dependent on me or anybody else to resolve your challenges emotionally and mentally. And the 2 techniques I share with you today will really, really help you become that self-sufficient. And one of them comes from a place of experience, which I've been using on myself for 10 years. And I'm very, very proud to say I'm very, very self-sufficient when it comes to my mindset and my emotions. I fight my own battles and I resolve them on my own. And these techniques have equipped me to become that. I've hosted masterclasses around India and globally for Tech Mahindra, Bank of America, Kotak Mahindra Bank, Lenskart, ONGC, the Indian Medical Association, Capgemini, CII as well. So a lot of what I shared with you, I shared with them too. So let's do a quick recap for those who were not there last week, and for those who were, but this would be a good refresher for you. So we learned last week that wherever your awareness flows, energy grows, right? We learned about your tribal programming. Your mind comes from a tribal state, right? There is tribal programming. It is used to thinking negative. We learned how to direct your awareness, and I shared 5 steps with you at the end. The first truth you learned was that you are not your mind. You learned you are not your mind, and you learned that your mind can be wired, because it is actually by default wired to think negative, but you can actually overcome that. So we learned that because we were cavemen and cavewomen, our mind looks for negative first. For every one positive thought, it has 6 to 7 negative thoughts, because it is looking for negative. It comes from our tribal programming. It needs to see whether there is danger to your life, whether there is something that's going to hurt you, whether it's something that's going to affect you mentally or emotionally. So it is always constantly looking for negative, because its first job is to protect you. But once it is done looking for positive, guess what it looks for next? It looks for anything connected to your needs, wants, wishes, desires, which is why when you tell your mind something, it starts looking for it. When you tell your mind you love something, it starts looking for it. And the big one, when you tell your mind you are grateful for something, you get what you're grateful for. So, a lot of what we did in the past 2 weeks is about feeding the mind what we wanted to think, what we wanted to look for. And now we will actually start the release. We understood duality of the mind, that your mind does what it thinks you want to do. We learned how the conscious mind gives instructions, subconscious mind, and how the subconscious mind creates all your events and experiences in your life, which means you can change your mental commands and change your life. The power lies in you, the magic and the might lies in you, not on anything external, right? So, for those of you who have joined me for the very first time, I'm going to be sharing my email address right now in the chat window. If you've missed the past 2 sentences and you wish to get up to speed and view it, please send us an email at mindcoaching@priyankarao.com, and you will get the recordings from us, right? Good to see you back, Leona, and good to see you back, Suvi. Nice to see you. At the end of last week, I shared with you 5 steps, which was number one, list out what you are actually thinking about all day. Remember that. And then I asked you to put a star against those which are aligned with your goals and keep focusing on those thoughts. I also told you to identify which are the negative thoughts which you don't want to think, but you're thinking about every day. Those are the ones we're going to release today. But I also taught you the drop the coal technique, where drop the coal and it drops a thought. So you had that equipped last week. And then I said, whatever goals you have put in the very first week on your goal card, do one thing every day towards that goal. Um, please don't forget this. This is really very important. Remember, your mind learns repetition. If you keep doing one thing, just one thing every day towards your goal, the mind gets used to it, the mind learns it, and then the beauty lies in automating it. It becomes automated in your mind. The mind automatically starts doing something towards the goal every day. Remember, the point is to automate. Why do cricketers play the same stroke for hundreds and thousands of balls in their training? Because the more they train with that single stroke when they need it at a match and the ball is thrown at them, the body automatically goes into that stroke because it has been automated in them. The Navy SEAL has a famous quote: you don't rise to the occasion, you sink to your level of training. You don't rise to the occasion, you sink to the level of your training. So you need to automate this. And once it gets automated, job done. The mind gets it done for you every day. So make the mind your manager. And lastly, I told you, please pay it forward. Remember, what goes around comes around. Call one friend, one relative, share these steps with them, and let them also start transforming their lives. So today, after we are done pouring in for the past 2 weeks, we are now going to be releasing. And that's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. So I'm going to teach you the law of resistance, a very important law. I'm going to teach you how to release, and then this week's 5 steps. All right. So, are all of you with me? Are all of you? Do you all? I hope you all of you have your pens and papers at hand. I hope you're maintaining one book or one diary for all the sessions, because a lot of what I share with you will stay with you in the weeks and months to go. Okay, so if you're ready, type in ready in the chat window so that I can begin. And the more you engage with me, the more I will feel the energy. So please do share. Do engage with me in the chat window. I presume everybody is ready. Thank you, Dr. Jolene. And I presume everybody else is ready. Thank you, Leona, as well. Great. Okay, I can see all responses coming in my private panelist. Wonderful. I'm going to go right ahead. Okay, so the law of resistance states what you resist persists, what you see disappears. I can't tell you how important this particular law is. Let me give an example to understand this. Remember, as we were children, if we were scared at night, Mama, there's a monster underneath my cupboard, underneath my bed. Mama, there's a monster in the cupboard. I'm very scared. What would be the typical reaction of the mother? What monster? Of course, there's no monster. Come, let us look at it. And they would open the cupboard and see, there is no monster. Why are you scared? Oh, look down. There is no monster inside under your bed. And as soon as the child sees it, we feel good. Oh, okay, there's no monster. I don't need to be worried about. As soon as you see your fears or your limitations or your negative emotions or whatever is stopping you, it disappears. By the way, drop the coal does this too. As soon as you say drop the coal, you see your thought and the thought disappears. So, how does this actually work? If you resist your fears, your negative emotions, your toxic patterns, if you bury it, if you run away from it, if you avoid it, thinking it's causing me pain, so let me just avoid it, it doesn't go anywhere. It follows you every waking moment, and in some cases, even in your sleep when you can't sleep well. So, what you resist persists. You need to break the cycle by seeing. When you see your challenges, when you see the lessons you have learned, when you see the patterns that is happening in your life, when you see your fears, they start disappearing. And both the techniques that I'm going to teach you today is going to be on how you can actually start seeing them and then seeing them disappear. It's magical when that actually happens. So I actually want to show you this beautiful video that I came across the other day. Are you a cow or a buffalo? You'll understand this when I actually play the video for you, and you'll understand what I mean when I say you need to face your fears. So I'm just pulling up the video. Just give me one tiny moment, and I really hope this video creates that impact on you, which it created on me.
Now I have a simple question for you. Are you a cow or a buffalo? Now, before you wonder what the heck is this guy talking about, let me tell you a little bit about cows and buffalo. As we know, in nature, animals are very in tune to the weather, and they can sense bad weather much earlier than humans can. But it's the difference in response to bad weather, to the storms between cows and buffalo that we can learn so much from. See, when a storm is coming, the buffalo and the cow, they both sense it. They both feel it. They both see it. But it's what they do when the storms are coming that are so radically different. So when the storm is forming and heading their way, the cows know it. They can sense it, they can feel it, and they can see it. Now, what the cow does is what many of us do during the storms of life. The cows turn heel and they run the opposite direction, hoping that they can outrun and avoid the storm. Sounds logical, right? I mean, they don't want to get rained on. But here's the thing. Cows are slow, and eventually the storm catches up. And what do when the storm catches up? They keep running, and they keep running. And as they run with the storm rains on them longer and longer and longer. Doesn't matter how fast they run, how hard they try to avoid it, the The storm just keeps on coming. The rain keeps dumping, and they keep running with the storm. The buffalo, on the other hand, does something radically different. The buffalo senses the storm. It feels it coming, and it sees the storm coming for them. But what the buffalo does is not turn heel and try to outrun the storm. No, it digs its heel into the ground and then pushes off and runs right towards the storm. It intuitively knows that by running towards the storm, they can get through the storm much faster. The storm doesn't last as long, and before they know it, the storm is over. So what do you do in the storms of life coming and barreling towards them? You can sense them, you can feel them, and you can see them. See, most of us are like the cows. We see the storms forming, we see them coming, and we turn heel and we try to outrun the storm. We try to outrun the storms of our life. We run from our failing relationships, our failing health, our failing finances. Now, I don't know what your storm is, but chances are you're running. But now's the time. Now's the time to be and act like the buffalo, to face your storms and head right for the damn things. Don't try to run from them. Don't try to avoid them. Just face them and run towards them. Yes, you may stumble. Yes, you may fall down. Yes, you will get back up. Running towards the storms guarantee a shorter storm. And what comes after the storm? What comes after the darkness that the storm clouds bring? Sunshine, opportunity, the light of day. So I don't know what it is that you're running from, but today needs to be the day. The day that you stop running from and start running towards. Yes, you're going to get wet. Yes, it may rain hard. And yes, it may be painful. But realize that you can't outrun the storm. Trying to only prolongs the pain. It delays the inevitable. It prolongs the failure. But facing the storm, running towards the storm, it accelerates the opportunity. It accelerates your success. It accelerates the light. And remember, there's always sunshine at the end of the storm.
How many of you really like that video? Type in me. How many of you were able to connect with it? How many of you were able to see yourself there? How many of you were able to relate to it? I definitely could. Thank you so much, Leona. What about the others? Did you really enjoy that video? And it had a very, very strong message. When you face your fears, when you run towards them, you actually outrun them. Because if you're going to run with them, the fears, you're never going to outrun them. It's always going to follow you at the back. Thank you, Ranti. I hope I pronounce your name right. Thank you very much for being honest, Leona and Ranti. No worries, Suvi. I understand you were not able to see it probably because of network issues. Why don't you send me an email, Suvi, and I'll try to send you the link on it. Okay, so shoot me an email. I'm going to send you that link. Great. Thank you so much, Dr. Jolene. So the point I'm trying to make here is stop running and start running towards it. Be a buffalo, not a cow, right? And here are the two techniques I'm going to teach you to actually help you start facing your fears and not against it. The first technique is called emotional freedom techniques. I'm going to give you the basis of this technique today, but you would need to do some amount of self-research because I will not be able to teach you the entire technique in this short span of time. In my 15 years of study, this is the most powerful technique that I have come across. I've used it on myself for 10 years. My clients have removed trauma, abuse, nightmares, fear of death, depression, weight gain, health issues, low self-worth, overthinking, lack of confidence, fear of public speaking, all with this technique. My clients have overcome heartbreak with this technique, failed relationships or marriage, or feeling stuck and lost with this technique. So, this technique really is the one technique that I will never ever stop recommending to anybody. If ever I'm on my deathbed and somebody asks me, Priyanka, give us that one technique before you actually die, it will be EFT. Now, EFT comes from energy medicine. Energy medicine is the root of your ancient Indian Ayurveda, traditional Chinese medicine, and the South Americans' shamanic traditions. Energy medicine works on the premise that we are all an energy body, and energy can be treated with energy. You can heal energy only with energy. You can fix energy only with energy. Today, the Global Wellness Summit is really embracing energy in a very big way. The 2020 and the 2021 summit had a huge narrative on energy medicine. Today, Western medicine like orthopedics is embracing energy medicine. There are tons of medical journals and articles on energy medicine, how we're an energy system, and emotional freedom techniques. What you see on the screen is one of the techniques, alternative techniques, that actually has its roots also in energy medicine. For some of you, how many of you are aware of EFT? If any of you are aware of EFT, just type in me in the chat window so that I know some of you are already aware of it. EFT, by the way, in some countries, is actually taught in schools. It's part of the school curriculum. They teach young children this to release their emotions, fears, negativity through EFT, because if you can release it, it will not grow inside of you as you grow older. Now, look at this particular study that has been inference that has come out of this research paper, which I marked in red. CBT, by the way, cognitive behavioral therapy, is used by psychologists and psychiatrists. EFT achieved in 2 sessions the same benefits that CBT did in 5 sessions. That's really how powerful it is. Of course, it can't be used in isolation. It needs to be used with other techniques as well, but it is immensely, immensely powerful. Today, EFT is used for clinical health purposes. There are tons of research articles and newspaper articles on the power of EFT, and I'm very, very happy to share how this actually works with some of you today. So, EFT works on the principle. It's EFT is basically like acupressure, but without needles. It is acupuncture without needles. And why I love EFT? Number one, you don't have to pay somebody to get it done. You can do it on your own. You don't have to depend on anybody. You can do it at your own convenience, time, and pace. Number three, you can teach other people this. I have tons of my clients who have actually taught this to their children or their partners. And fourthly, there are no side effects. Now, what you see on the screen, ladies and gentlemen, are something called as body meridians or energy meridians. We have 14 energy meridians in our body. These are pathways. Um, they are not your chakras. Your chakras, which are 7 chakras, are separate. This is where your pran, life force, or the Chinese call it chi, runs through. 12 of them are connected to your organs, which is why EFT is also used for physical health purposes. It's not a cure. It's only used for pain management and symptom management. And the other two run on the periphery of your body and the center of your body. So in EFT, how does this work? When you face stress, anxiety, injury, trauma, fears, heartbreak, any external situation which is negative, remember, energy can't be destroyed. And most of us absorb all that pain, that fear, those emotions, those memories, those experiences. And when you absorb it, it clogs these energy pathways. Okay? When you absorb energy, it clogs these energy pathways. Now, I'll give you this beautiful analogy. Think of your arteries to your heart and think of your energy meridians. If your arteries to your heart get blocked, what's going to happen? Heart attack, a stroke. You'll need surgery to remove this block. Similarly, Your energy pathways or your energy meridians are where not your blood, but your life force is running through. And when this gets clogged, this causes physical, mental, emotional, psychological, and physiological shifts in you. Unlike a heart surgery, EFT is that surgery that is used to remove the clogs and the blocks of EFT. I hope I made this as simple for you to understand. So EFT removes all this energy from your energy system, just clogging it. And the key word here is permanently. So how does it actually work? In standard EFT, for advanced EFT, you have to come to a coach like me. But for standard EFT that you can do at your home on your own, there are 8 acupressure points that when you activate, they start activating the energy meridians and they start releasing whatever you want to release. So how are we going to work with this on it? Now you can see the 8 points on the screen. So I would like you to YouTube EFT, Google EFT. They will show you actual demonstrations. Basically what you're doing is you're tapping on the points. Example in point. If I'm releasing anxiety, release 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 anxiety. EFT looks really funny, by the way, but when you start seeing the miraculous change in EFT, how funny it looks will not matter. When you're tapping on these points, the energy meridians are basically starting to release that energy from your body. So while I will not go into the absolute details of it because of lack of time, remember, just Google it, YouTube it. And how are we going to use this? Remember the list of the things that you think about all day that we made last week? See what negative you're thinking about all week. Are you thinking about a fear all week? Are you thinking about a negative emotion all week? Are you thinking about a negative person all week? And those are the ones you're going to release. Those are the ones that you're going to take out. One small tip I'm going to give you is every EFT command starts with either release or this, which means release anxiety or this anxiety. Let's take fear of public speaking. Release fear of public speaking, this fear of public speaking. Every EFT command starts with release or this. So when you're tapping, you're saying release anxiety, or this anxiety, release fear of public speaking, this public speaking, release anxiety, this anxiety. So you're using release or this, and then you can put whatever you want to release next to it. EFT is one of the very few techniques where the emphasis on the negative and not the positive, because we are releasing. All right. So I hope I was able to explain the technique to you as much. And I would urge you to research a little bit more, go onto YouTube, see some videos, make a list of what you want to release, fears, negative emotions, limitations, and tap every day. My suggestion is tap twice a day to start off with. Definitely before you go to sleep, because remember, your subconscious mind is active when you're sleeping. Let it release when you're sleeping. And the second time can be either after a meditation or a yoga or pranayam or a prayer time, or simply as soon as you wake up. When you're on your bed, tap when the subconscious mind is still active. Remember, your subconscious mind is active in the first 10 minutes of your wake up and the last 10 minutes before you go to bed, even after meditation, yoga, pranayam. So use this time to also EFT tap on yourself, right? So I would definitely urge you to use this technique. The second technique that I would share with you, which is also brilliant. Usually I do this technique with my clients, but I'm going to teach you how to do it on your own. This is for not fears or negative emotions, but beliefs. Beliefs like, I have trust issues, or I am a worry warrior, or I need external validation, or um, when I see failure, I feel like a loser. These are belief statements. Now, this you can't remove through EFT, because EFT is for emotions, fears, feelings. But Socrates questioning, which by the way is a very ancient technique, it comes from the Greek philosopher Socrates. Like everything ancient, it's very scientific and very powerful. You're going to use on this. So, what you're going to do is take a piece of paper and write your belief statement on top. So let's say I have trust issues. That's your belief statement. Your next question to yourself is, do you believe you have trust issues? Write down the answer. Once you've written it down, read it, and then ask yourself, why do you believe whatever you've written? Then ask yourself, do you believe that? Write down. Why do you believe that? Write down. Do you believe that? Write down. Why do you believe? Write down. So you're moving from do you believe to why do you believe? Do you believe to why do you believe? Whatever you are writing, you are questioning yourself on it. The beauty of this technique is the subconscious mind starts bringing up cognitive shifts. You will see the belief statement slowly starting to shake as you keep digging in. It's like the onion. You're peeling off the layers of the onion till you come to a center and you realize that belief has no standing. You will come to an end where you realize, I don't know. When you ask yourself, why do you believe it? And when you hit an I don't know, you are going to say, now what would you like to believe? And whatever the subconscious mind writes is your new belief statement. So the beauty of this technique is that everything is coming from you. Nothing is coming externally. So your mind can't help but believe it, accept it. So after you write the belief statement on a piece of paper, you will ask, do you believe that? Write down the answer. Based on whatever you are, write down, ask yourself, why do you believe that? Again, go to, do you believe that? Again, you'll go, why? And you'll keep rotating this and shuffling this till you come to a point where you say, I don't know. That's the center of the onion, which has no standing. And then you will ask the most important question, which is, I'm going to mark it in red. If you don't know, what would you like to believe? Otherwise, now. And then there'll be a new belief that will come up. And then whatever you get, remember the mind learns repetition. Keep repeating it to yourself like I'm enough and I'm fearless. Keep all your mental commands. Keep repeating it to yourself so that you are able to reinforce those new belief statements. This is a beautiful technique. Tons of my clients have had transformational shifts when they've done this. And their mind has just had a paradigm shift and it has dropped all the earlier beliefs. So I really, really hope for some of you, you're able to create that. Is this clear? If you have any questions, please type it in the chat window. Okay, I'm here to help you. So let this not be a one-way communication. If you have any questions, type it in the chat window. If you want me to repeat anything, ask me again, and I'm happy to do that. Okay, so if you have understood it, that's fabulous. And I really would like you to start doing it again. Okay, so you've got your two techniques of EFT and Socrates technique. So Suvi, which technique do you want me to repeat? The second one. Okay. So in Socrates questioning, you're going to target your belief statements. I have trust issues. I'm a worry warrior. I'm always over planning. I feel inferior in front of people who are more intelligent than me. These are belief statements. You will write the belief statement at the on a piece of paper. You will tackle one belief at a time. One by one, you will peel off the onions. So you'll keep digging in, digging in, digging in till you come to the center of your onion where you realize that the belief has no standing. So once you write your belief statement, you're going to ask yourself, do you believe that? Write down the answer. The writing is very important because remember, when you write down, your subconscious mind brings up more. After you've written down, you'll ask yourself, why do you believe that? Do you believe that? Why do you believe that? So whatever answer is coming from you, which you're writing down, you will question it again. Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? Why do you believe that? till you'll come to a point where the mind says, I don't know why I believe that. And that's when you know, if you don't know, why are you believing it? And then you will ask yourself, if you don't know, what would you like to believe otherwise now? So, example in point, if the statement was, I have trust issues, maybe now you'll say, I would like to believe that I can trust people who trust me. I would like to believe that I can trust my family and my friends because they've always been there for me. Maybe a statement like that will come now back at you. And then that becomes your new belief statement. And you'll keep repeating to yourself, I can trust those who trust me. I can trust my family and friends. You'll keep repeating that till that becomes your new belief statement. I hope that made more clearer to you, Suni. Okay, so once you have these two techniques, here are your 5 steps now for this week. All right, so grab your pens and papers. Number 1, make a list, 2 lists. Make a list of all your fears, negative emotions, limitations. And this list is really important because you'll be looking at this list every day when you're doing your EFT. And the second list, make a list of all your belief statements, the beliefs that you have. Like, I'm allergic to exercise. I'm very bad remembering names. I am such a lazy person. I'm very indisciplined. These are all belief statements. Make a list of all those negative belief statements that you want to change. Then you will use your EFT for that list of fears and emotions that you have made. Remember, release, release, release. And you'll use Socrates questioning for the belief statements that you actually wrote down. So this is something that is an ongoing process. This will take you, a couple of weeks, so you can start it gradually. But EFT is very powerful. You will see changes in EFT in 3 to 4 weeks. And Socrates questioning, you might have to do it even once on a belief. It dismantles, and you'll never have to do it again. So Socrates questioning is faster than EFT. EFT is a little bit longer, but EFT in the long run is the permanent solution. So use EFT for emotions, use Socrates questioning for your belief systems. Remember your goal that you wrote at the very beginning. Keep doing one thing every day. Automate it, automate it, automate it. And finally, my absolute favorite, please call up someone today and share with them these two techniques of EFT and Socrates questioning. Make them also self learn this. EFT, I would urge you again to please research it. Go on to Google, go on to YouTube, see how it is done, and you will actually see the shifts happening from that end as well. All right, if any of you again uh, have not attended my earlier sessions, please send us an email. We will send you the recordings. So today, from this week onwards, along with the pour, you're also going to start releasing. This is where then shifts happen, because if you don't release, you will not have any transformational shift in you. So now you will start seeing, if you've followed what I've told you the past 3 weeks, you will now start seeing shifts from this week onwards. All right. Please change your mindset, change your words, change your reality. Remember, you are not born with these challenges. No child is born with any fear or negative emotion. You don't have to live with it. EFT and Socrates question can really help you move that. And I hope you continue this journey of 6 weeks with me, of 42 days, as I keep attempting to help you reprogram and release. So, what can you expect next week? Next week is one of my favorite, which is the law of gratitude. Why does the law state that whatever you are grateful for, you will get more of? I will show you how, so you can start incorporating gratitude in your daily lives as well. Great. And yeah, this is my email address, mindcoaching at Priyanka Rouse. If you need anything from my end, please send me an email. Thank you very, very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me this afternoon again. I'm so very happy to have you. And I will see you next week. I will start sharp at 3 o'clock. So see you next Saturday at 3. And till then, stay safe and God bless you guys. Thank you, Leona. God bless you too. Thank you very much. P839F30. I don't see your name, but thank you very much.